So is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, let us start. So in today's talk, I will talk about what is Android. Well, you all know what is Android, but I will give a brief introduction for Android, and then I will talk who is an Android developer, what does he do, and what are the various job profiles you can work in the industry as an Android developer. Also, I will talk about some important skills of today's trends that will help you secure a good job in a good IT company. So we all know Android was developed in 2007 by a group of companies and which ultimately became owned by Google. So it is an open source platform, and that is the reason there are so many trends and developments recurrently happening in this field because everyone has an opportunity to add something to this ecosystem, be it developments of app or developing the system itself or adding some new features to the ongoing development of the operating system. So there are over 3 million plus apps on Google Play Store to date, and Android has crossed 3 billion users in the year 2021. The latest version of Android, as we all know, is Android 13, and in the upcoming days, on maybe on 10th of May, when Google will announce its I/O program, that is its a big event, they are definitely going to launch Android 14. So we will keep a close eye on what happens and what comes new in this entire new Android version. So, what are the main important features of Android? So, the most important part is reduce cost of development. So, if you have an app that is to be built for a large group of users, it is always great to start with Android because it is an open source system and also it is free of cost because there are already multiple libraries and repositories available on GitHub. Also, there is a higher success ratio because of the higher user base available on Play Store. Also, there is a larger developer community which always help us and tell us about the latest trends happening in this domain. So, the best part about Android is that the market is so huge that you get an opportunity to present every kind of your app and you can show it to the users. So who is an Android developer? Now just because you know a bit of Java or Kotlin programming, that does not make you an Android developer. Obviously, you have to understand the details of the system, the ecosystem, what kinds of softwares to use to build the software. So basically, Android developer is someone who develops for the Android platform, be it an app or something for Android Auto, maybe not just mobiles, or something in the space of VR or AR. So till 2017, Java was the main language of development. So everything that Google built was with relation to Java. Like they use Java in every project. But from 2017 and forward, they have introduced a new programming language, Kotlin. Now, therefore, every development that Google will do will be Kotlin specific. So first, the features will be rolled out for Kotlin, and then some more features, if available, will be rolled out to Java. So it is a good thing to learn Kotlin from now. So if you plan to be an Android developer in the near future, I will suggest you to start with Kotlin. And the best part about Kotlin is that it can help you reduce 30% of your code base entirely because it is dynamically typed and it is the language that now Google will be working on continuously. Also, the best part is Java can have null variables, as you all know. So, but Kotlin does not produce any null pointer exception until and unless explicitly specified. Now, now from till today, people developers used to use another scripting language called as XML to develop the user interfaces for Android systems. But Google has introduced, along with Kotlin, one big library called as Jetpack Compose, which is a UI library which does makes you write the business logic as well as the user interface logic with the help of Kotlin itself. So you don't need to learn any more scripting languages just for the sake of developing your UI in a particular order. Also, development with Jetpack Compose is Android specific. That is, if you build an app with Jetpack Compose and Kotlin, it can run only on Android. But if you plan to to have your user base across platforms, be it iOS, be it Android. You can use Flutter as a library to have single source code but develop for multiple platforms. Now there are various job profiles in the IT industry for Android developers, like mobile application developer or Android engineer or mobile architect. So I will give you a brief introduction. So what does an application developer and other profiles have differ in terms of, right? So an application developer is any junior developer who just starts in the industry, but a engineer or Android mobile architect has all the responsibilities of understanding the app, then the user base, and what he does is designs something new. Like he does not use the pre-built source codes unless and until required. They invent or innovate, keep on innovating new things. So, as you all know, in the industry there are multiple levels like a junior developer, intermediate developer, and senior developer. Now, who is a full stack Android developer? So, if you are a junior working in the industry, now you will have experience with Kotlin and secure user experience, and also how to design user interfaces. Because ultimately, when a user uses your app, if he feels any kind of lag, or if he feels that the app developed is not so smooth, he might uninstall your app, which is bad for your business and also bad for your app. So make sure you know how to develop a proper and beautiful user interface along with a smooth user experience. So now, advantages of Android developer, as I discussed earlier, it is been open source because, so how it helps is, let's say you are a junior developer and you don't know much about the industry. So there will be multiple projects available online. Terms are used or what separate libraries are used. Everyone can understand it. Now another important part is easy integration. Like there is a Play Store available on which you can launch your app, which also tells you what kind of analytics or how many daily active users you have, and multiple such things. Also, Google provides database services like Firebase, so you can easily integrate them with your app. Or to generate revenue, you can have AdSense or mobile ads also enabled. So now you must be wondering what is the basic salary for an Android developer. So basic salary, if you have good set of skills, starts from 4 lakhs per annum and can go as high as up to 20 lakhs per annum if you have the right skills. Like if you can integrate multiple technologies like blockchain or artificial intelligence, machine learning into your app, then you can definitely look out for such higher packages. So as I discussed earlier, Kotlin is now the latest and the trendiest language supported by Android, and any development happening from now on will be Kotlin focused and not so Java focused. So now this is a basic interface of Android Studio. So now you must be wondering what kind of softwares do we use to develop these applications? Like we have, if we say for C development, we have code blocks or Turbo C++. But for Android development, to have a proper development environment, we use this IDE known as Android Studio, wherein you can design your interfaces, write your business logic, or along with that, if you want to add any external functionalities like libraries, you can also implement that. So, is there any doubt till now, or am I going too fast? Hello, am I audible? Yes. So, so is there any doubt till now? No, sir. Okay, so we will start by developing this small Android application. Are you able to see the screen? Yes. So this is a basic library app where you will be developing these apps and also showcasing various books and their names. Also, along with that, we will add the functionality of marking them. So, for any further requirements, we can use those selections in our app. But this app will focus on only developing the UI using Kotlin and Jetpack components. So, this is the basic code of the app I discussed. So, is anyone familiar with Android development using Java or XML? Hello, hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
All right. So here is main activity file. Like we have our main function in any kind of programming. We have this main activity file in Android development where you write your basic codes, right? So the from the basics we will start. Now for a book like a library app like app, we are required to have a set of list. Like we need a list of what kind of books we will want to represent, what are their names, authors, or any such metadata required for that app. So here I have created a book list variable in which I have listed a few books, and along with that their authors and their names. So now onCreate is a function in Android development which is launched when your app starts. Similar to how the main function works, onCreate will a function. When your app starts, the implemented code will start running, and if there are any function calls or callbacks without going back and forth between your mobile phone and your laptop. Now here this choose books is a text. So in Android, we have views called as text views, which are used to represent text
Screen
in
change,
your
sir.
app. Yes.
Sir, screen is freeze.
Okay. Is it okay now?
No, sir.
Just is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Alright. So as I was talking, we have this app, and now we have this choose books text view. So what is it? It is actually a view in Android, which helps you represent text in your app. Then, similar to how choose books works, I have also used another text view. For this, you can choose any text. Now, to generate a list of such tabs, I have first designed the tab itself. Okay. So now you can. Are you able to see this function called as book list?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this book list function takes it list as its parameter, because we will first pass the data to the function, and using that data we will create these various tabs. So now there is a lazy column function like thing in Kotlin which helps you generate such lists, and the best part about lazy column is that it does not reduce your app's performance, it only enhances it. Like even if there were thousands of such tabs in this app, still the app will work in the same manner if there were only 10. So the performance is always enhanced when you use such lazy column uh, functions. So we have one main activity in an Android app. So main activity is the first screen that you can see when you open or start your app. After that, we have this function called as onCreate, which is the most important function in Android development because every code that you write and dictate in your application will be reflected only and only when your onCreate method gets called. So this set content method does what? In set content method, I have called this composable function called as book choice, which is the function responsible for developing the UI. In book choice function, we have used a composable function called as box. Now this box is a composable function which lets you create a screen first, and then if you have anything to add to it, then you can add. So now we have this column composable which helps us lay out, put our tabs in a layout of in vertical order. So choose books, you can choose any, and then this entire list is in this particular order because of the composable functions I have used. Then comes the text modifier or text view, as I was talking about. So text composable lets you design and render text in your app. Then this spacer, are you able to see the space between these two texts? This space can be developed by using the spacer modifier. Then again we have the text composable, then the spacer composable, and then the divider. This is the divider composable to differentiate or create a kind of a block like environment in our app. Then I have used this book list composable, to which I have passed this set of books that I want to represent in the app. And this lets you then, when the book list app takes in the parameter, it iterates over the list, and then using the every entry of that list, it renders the UI for this each particular tab of the book along with the selector. Now this book card is a composable which renders only this part of the app, which is this tab. So first we create this book card composable along with various parameters that can be used with it. Like we also need the name of the photo, or every image is assigned a particular value, and when that particular value from our project is accessed, that image is rendered. So this surface composable works similar to how a box composable works, but it adds a bit of a depth, and we can change or modify a bit of other parameters like corners of the tab along with the background, and also the length and size of the, where I have assigned more properties to it so that it can be readable and in a particular order. So similar to how we have used previous composables like text view, we we also have used image composable, row composable. So there, for that we use something called as a checkbox composable, which have multiple properties like is checked. So when I click on this, the state changes to true, and if it's unclicked, then it reverts back to false. Along with that, we can set the type of color we want to have for that particular click, and then the size of those tabs. So this is how a basic book app can be created. So the major takeaways are there are composables in Kotlin or Jetpack based development which are used to render specific views. Along with that, if you have a source code for your business logic and UI, you can represent that directly using Kotlin and Jetpack Compose. And along with that, there are multiple composables like surface, box, image, text, which are used to do various things as I discussed. So this is how you develop a basic application for book selectors. So doesn't even have any doubt.
Parth, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Actually, what is exactly the role of composable? Actually, I just missed out in between.
Sir, composable, like similar to how functions work in other programming languages. Actually, composable itself is a function, but the code in composables is only for user interface. So when the Jetpack Compose compiler compiles the code, it looks out for these composable annotations, and if it finds it associated to a particular function, that particular function's UI will be rendered. Like we have this book card as a composable defined. So this book card is a function associated to the composable annotation. And this composable function has the code only for this particular UI logic, not the business side of things, only for the UI logic. So that is the use of composable to render the UI. Yes, sir.
Anybody else having question in between, they can ask. Okay, otherwise you can type in the chat box also, no problem. Okay, okay, Parth, just continue.
Yes, sir. So now, how do you publish an Android app? Now you have learned the technologies used to develop an Android app application. Now, how do you publish it to the users so everyone in the community and everyone around the world can use your application? So there is this tool called as Play Console, on which you can upload your app, and that will be ultimately uploaded to the Play Store. So you can pay a fee of.
All the students are requested to fill the link which is given in your group.
ए अरे तुम्ही सेशनला कोणी जॉईन आहे का?
Hello. Uh, Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Parth, for giving such a nice informative session. And hopefully, every student will try to explore this in a further means stage. Right now, it is quite means obviously we can expect you guided all the means necessary things regarding the app development. And I request all the students to mark their attendance as well as the feedback of the session. Same link is already posted on YouTube. Those who joined YouTube link, they can also give the feedback. So this will be considered as your attendance. Uh, so once again, I would like to thank to Parth and for guiding the session in a quite innovative way. And not only means he has shown the basics of the app development, but also shown the demo. So thank you, Parth. Thank you very much. And with this, I means hand over the session to conclude to Sanika and Trupti. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for inviting.
Thank you, sir. It was really an awesome session for all the students like us. I would like to thank our management for encouraging us, all the faculty members, our HODs, and all the students who helped us in doing such a session. We are looking forward for many such sessions. Thank you, everyone.